In this video I'm going to show you how to shoot handheld rollers like these ones. This is how I shot my handheld rollers and how you can do it too. The first thing is your gear, so you will need your camera and your lens. When it comes to the lens, I prefer having a zoom, something like a standard zoom at 24-70 or an equivalent lens on a crop sensor camera. When I used to shoot Canon, I had a Canon 6D Mark II, and for the lens I had a 24-70 f4, which had great image stabilization and was just amazing to shoot with. Now I use a Fuji X-T3, which is much better just because I can shoot 4K, I can shoot log footage, and it's just great to grade and work with. But the lens I use is the kit lens, and the stabilization is not nearly as good as the Canon one. I can still get great footage, but I just kinda miss how good my old Canon was. If you already have one or can budget for one, use a variable ND filter. This will help you cut out the light, have the proper shutter speed and proper aperture to get the best possible footage. If you don't have one, you can still get good footage by just cranking down the aperture. I did this in the best, I got decent footage, but an ND filter just makes it so much better. Another nice thing to have is a cage and handles. You can definitely do without, but if you have them, use them. This gives you more contact points with the camera, gives you more weight, which always helps with stability. When it comes to settings, you want to shoot at the highest quality your camera can. So if your camera can shoot 4K, just shoot 4K. If not, 1080p is still good. Always shoot 60 frames per second. I know this may sound controversial and it's not the cinematic way of shooting, but you will see later why this is so important, at least for me, and why this helps so much with stable footage. When it comes to the camera car, I like using either a station wagon or a hatchback. This gives me the option to shoot out of the rear passenger windows on the left or right side, or shoot out of the boot, which gives me a bigger opening where I can get more creative with the angles. When shooting out of the back, you can get much lower. The lower you go, the more motion you introduce into the video, which helps sell that the cars are going really fast. Usually when shooting out of the boot, I wouldn't go faster than 50 or maybe 60 kilometers per hour just to be safe. And also when shooting out of the boot, make sure that you're on a road that's not busy and that there is no traffic, and also that there is no chance of police seeing you. When shooting out of the windows, it's much easier to just hop back into the car and act like nothing's happening, which you can't really do when there's a huge boot open and it's just obvious what you're doing. When shooting out of the windows, a good shot to always get is a pass-by shot where you start with the car behind you and you do a long shot of the car passing you, so you get the front, the side and the back of the car in one single shot. Obviously, to get longer shots you need a really smooth road, which where I shoot here in Spain and in Croatia it's really hard to find. Hopefully you will live somewhere where the roads are decent and filming is much easier. So once you get your shots into your editing program, cut out any of the major shakes. You will still have some shakes throughout the clip, but this can be fixed with post-stabilization. I use Final Cut and I just check the stabilization box and let it do its thing. Usually inertia cam works the best with these kind of shots. If it goes wild, you can kind of adjust it and see what works best. Sometimes I had to scrap the whole clip just because it couldn't work with it, but other times it just works fantastic and you get amazing results. The main reason 60 frames per second works better than 24 is because each second of video has more than double the information in it, so your program has a much easier time stabilizing this footage and getting a smooth shot out of whatever you filmed. This may not be the cinematic way of shooting rollers, but for shooting handheld, this has always worked for me. It always delivered good footage and I never had an issue with it. If you can shoot with a gimbal, it's obviously much better to shoot with a gimbal in 24 frames per second, but even with this, you're gonna be pretty happy with your footage. If you don't agree with my method or have a better method in mind, please leave a comment. I'm really interested in seeing how other people approach this, and if there is a way to get better footage, I would love to know. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing if this video has helped you and if you want to see more automotive content from me.